I came back from my trip to Japan a while ago, and finally I decided to cover all the extents of my travels. The flight from Canada was around 12 hours. Thankfully, I was tired enough that I was able to sleep most of the plane ride over. Then you are thrust straight into the subway station right off the plane. I was sweating and nervous, but I was finally able to navigate the escape room that is the subway system to get onto the streets of Tokyo. My first stop was my hotel, and then, of course, I had to hit the konbini. After a quick tamago sando and a strong zero, I hit the streets to see what was in the area. Right across the street from my hotel was a nightlife spot in Shimbashi. This is where I found my first bowl of ramen. Thankfully, one of the workers in the ramen shop spoke fluent English and guided me through the ordering process. I was elbow to elbow with locals, and once again pretty nerve-wracking and feeling a little out of place. The ramen was delicious, and then I headed back to the hotel to get some rest before my first big day in Tokyo. My first day in Tokyo included a trip to Tsukiji Fish Market. I didn't get a chance to film much there, but this is where I tried dango, unagi, and tamagoyaki, all of which were delicious. As it turns out, I went just as the market was opening and there wasn't a huge tourist rush, so I was really able to enjoy the area with very little people traffic. Then, that evening, I took a trip to Shinjuku that included a guided nightlife tour to the bars in the area. During the day, it wasn't too bad, but as the night went on, it got crazy busy. Our tour guide Kuki was awesome, and he took us to some amazing spots. Omoaide Yokocho was my favorite part of the tour. It was very difficult to get any footage because there was so many people. Oh my god, I barely fit. My shoulders don't fit, that's for sure. No problem. Yeah. Oh my god. This is great. I want to be like you when I grow up. Yeah. I'm still not grown up. After the tour, I took the wrong train and decided to just walk the rest of my way back to my hotel, which brought me to the foot of the Tokyo Tower, which you can see here from my hotel room view. It was lit up and beautiful. Then a rush of motorcycles came flying down the road leading up to the tower. Some kind of ride night, I'm guessing. Overall, it was an amazing day. Probably one of my favorite days of the trip, but there is much more amazing experiences to come. The next morning, I walked across the street from my hotel and found the Hayao Miyazaki big clock, and then I made my way to the station to head to Akihabara. The first stop was Super Potato. What an amazing retro video game store. I could have gotten in a lot of trouble in the potato. After taking in all the sights in Akihabara, I just decided to hit the streets and see what I could find. I wandered around for most of the day. I believe I ended up wandering around Asakusa? It was around the Sumida River somewhere. From here, I just decided to walk back to my hotel that evening and ended up in some sort of shopping district where they had shut down a bunch of city blocks and you could just walk the streets freely. I think it was in the Ginza shopping district somewhere, but I could be wrong. This is where I met Monjiro, the Chihuahua. He is so cute. Apparently he's 17 years old and him and his owner wear matching outfits. The next day was Shibuya. First thing, I went and saw my boy. The best boy, Hachiko. He's right outside the train station. He was my first stop, and honestly, Shibuya is really cool. Don't get me wrong, but the crossing, it's actually kind of underwhelming. It's busy, and yeah, sure, it's fun, and I did the scramble multiple times, and it's just okay. And a lot smaller than you think it is. Here's a comparison of me doing it during the daytime and doing it during the nighttime. So during the day on my trip to Shibuya, I made a detour to Meiji Jingu. What can I say? It was the first deeply emotional experience I had in Japan. It was just otherworldly. While I did my prayer and offering to the shrine, I got very emotional. It was a truly deep experience I just can't explain. As you enter and exit the shrine, there is a wall of sake barrels that is something to behold as well. After leaving Meiji Jingu, I made a stop in Yoyogi Park, which is right outside the temple grounds. I was hoping to catch the Strangers Dancers, the 1950-style greaser dancers, but unfortunately I wasn't there on the right day to actually see them, but Yoyogi Park is beautiful in itself. That same afternoon, I made a trip to Shibuya Parko, which has the Capcom store, the Nintendo store, and the Jump Shop. And I found the Pokemon Center, which I tried to keep myself as far away as possible from. All of the Pokemon centers that I had visited were insanely busy. But I had the chance to see the amazing Mewtwo display, and I also met Godzilla. Then it was bar hop after bar hop after bar hop. I ended up wandering around Shibuya for a while and found a nice little bar owned by someone named Henry, named the Wanderer Mate Bar, which only sat about 2 or 3 people, and Henry was very fluent in English. Henry had explained to me that he went to university in Toronto, I believe, and he was renting this space, and he wanted to make his dream come true of being a bar owner, and he has a fantastic little spot, so check it out in Shibuya, Wanderer Mate Bar. After Wanderer Mate Bar, it was off to find Chris Broad's Lost, and I showed up right on time just as the doors opened at 6 p.m. and I had a bowl of Wagyu flavored chips and many beer. Then I caught the train home feeling quite well, and this is when I ran into them, the Japanese salarymen. Now there are 2 salarymen out there who know the legend of Big John. The next morning, very early morning, very early hungover morning was Mount Fuji. Not much to say about this day. I was very hungover, did not see a clear view of Fujisan, but the big highlight of this day was Kitaguchi Shrine. It's absolutely stunning. The tour guide and I didn't get to spend much time here, but wow, that's all I can say. It is located in Fuji Yoshida City, and I will tell you that even though I didn't get to see Mount Fuji, the towns and other areas that I experienced were just as beautiful. The next day was another early morning, but a much less hungover morning. I was off to the Shinkansen to catch the train to Osaka, where I found myself at Osaka Universal, where I took in the sights for the day, and you know what? It got actually pretty darn cold, so I had to buy myself a Harry Potter scarf to stay warm. I experienced the Waterworld theatrical play, whatever you want to call it, and then I also went on the Jaws ride and drank lots of beer and ate lots of the food in the area. It was actually a really fun, really wonderful time in Osaka Universal, even though it was actually snowing, and I only had my sweater because I was packing light. After Osaka Universal, I made my way to Osaka Castle. Once again, another stunning area. Even though it was cold and windy, what a beautiful location. Then a huge flock of crows decided to gather and swarm. It was also starting to get dark, so I figured it was time to gather myself up and head to Dotonbori. Of course, I saw the famous Glico sign, and I had myself some delicious takoyaki. I saw the sights and caught the local train to my hotel in Kyoto.
Hello, this is Kim Jong, the Supreme Leader of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. I'm with my good friend who's about to get invaded by my good friend Donald Trump. He's going to become an American and he'll be under the thumb of my good friend Donald.
51st state.
That's right, that's right.
You got a funny accent.
Future American. Future American, here we go.
But not before making a stop in a little place called Shaka Bar. Yuji, the owner of the establishment, spoke fluent English and he invited me in. I might have had a few too many at Shaka Bar. There is something to be said about the peacefulness of Kyoto. It is so calm, so relaxed, so quiet. Everything shuts down fairly early. It is a completely different vibe in comparison to Tokyo.
There were a couple of tourist spots that I had to hit, like the famous Kyoto Starbucks, but through Yuji's suggestion, he said that if you're going to visit these places in Kyoto, you have to visit Kiyomizu-dera Temple. Once again, another stunning location. And this is where I took the Feat of Strength challenge, and as of right now, on my Facebook Reels, it has hit 1 million views, which is a huge random viral milestone that I've hit out of nowhere. I was very hungover for this, but excuses aside, I didn't see anyone solo this challenge while I was there, so a little confidence boost there. Right after Kiyomizu-dera, it was straight off to Fushimi Inari and the 1,000 torii gates. The previous temple was fairly tame in comparison. I got there fairly early, but Fushimi Inari was crazy busy at that time. I think I went during the beginning of peak tourist time, and to be honest, I don't remember catching any local trains in Kyoto. Everything was within walking distance from one another, which to me is absolutely amazing considering Kyoto is a huge city. Even though it was incredibly busy there, it was still beautiful, and there is something so tranquil about these torii gates. After that, I made my way to the Samurai and Ninja Museum. The samurai armor was amazing to see. All of the elaborate designs and helmets, absolutely stunning. At the end of the tour, they had a ninja throwing star contest, and guess who won? Your boy, Certified Ninja. I made my way back to my hotel, and the rest of the day was pretty uneventful, other than walking down the street to a tiny little mom and pop shop to try some okonomiyaki. Oh, it was delicious. The next morning, I was off to Miyajima, so to get to Miyajima, I took the Shinkansen to Hiroshima, then from there, straight to the Miyajima ferry. Miyajima by far is my favorite place on the trip. It is a stunning little island where the floating torii gate, Itsukushima Shrine, is located. I am almost at a loss for words at how gorgeous Miyajima is. Henjokutsu Cave is otherworldly. And the cute little Buddhas wearing their red toques and daisho in temple. The deer that roam the streets freely, 90% of the tourists leave the island by the last ferry, which makes the island so quiet. Miyajima is just magical. I made the trek to my cabin at Iwaso. It is an incredibly traditional cabin equipped with its own personal onsen. A quick beer, some dinner, and then that evening I made my way to the floating torii during the low tide. That evening, I made my way to the floating torii during the low tide, and that's where I met up with some folks that I had talked to earlier. So huge shout outs to Taylor and Tom.
Where exactly, like what town we cut through, but it was going from...
You don't actually understand how enormous this torii gate is until you're standing right next to it. Thanks to my waterproof shoes, I was able to wade through the ankle-deep water and walk up and touch the torii gate. What the what? I love the clickety clacks.
You guys gonna walk with us?
There was that one group of Americans, and they had the one with them who just showed them the entire time. This is my new thing. They found
Welcome to the Pride. They're literally like 2 steps in front of you.
Yeah.
Have you touched them yet?
No.
No.
If they touch me, that's cool. I don't think deers hear ticks. I know back home that's what they do.
Yes.
I specifically...
They're like, what the? Then back to my cabin for a piping hot bath. The next morning, I unfortunately woke up with a cold, so I had to peel myself out of bed and catch the ferry back to Hiroshima. This was getting pretty close to the last stretch of my trip, so the cold was not welcome, but at least I didn't get it earlier on. In Hiroshima, I made my way to the Peace Museum, where I didn't take much footage out of respect. This was a difficult place to be. I was very emotional for the whole viewing of the museum. After that, I made my way to Orizuru Tower and let my paper crane fly.
That's so cool.
Then, from the top of Orizuru Tower, I caught the slide down a few levels before I burned a hole in the ass of my pants. Then, back to the Shinkansen, back to Tokyo, on a grueling, very sick 4-hour train ride. The next day was Sumo Sunday. I was very fortunate to be able to attend the final day of the sumo tournament. I grabbed myself 2 tall boys of Kirin and enjoyed the matches. My boy Eonishiki won the whole tournament, most definitely a huge highlight of the trip. Then, that evening, I made my way to the Unicorn Gundam, which was within walking distance from my hotel. After that, I only had a couple days left in Japan, so I bumbled my way around Tokyo. I went to the Asahi Brewing headquarters and saw the Golden Turd in all of its glory. I walked through Asakusa, accidentally stumbled upon that weird little underground mall. I think it's called Chikagai, which was kind of gross and sketchy.
Wherever it is, we are here.
Then I enjoyed a night out with Taylor and Tom and went to the Imperial Palace for an afternoon. I do have to take a moment and talk about this spot that I wandered into. It was a small restaurant which ended up being at the top of my list for memorable moments. This tiny little place was run by Onoya-san. I'm sure he didn't know what he was in for when this big, tall, goofy Canadian walked into his establishment. He spoke almost no English and I speak very little Japanese. But as I walked in, he said, "Ranshu time." I chuckled and said, "Hi." I was the only person in the restaurant. Onoya-san was warm and welcoming. Through the magic of Google Translate, we were able to have a wonderful conversation. We talked about my travels, how long I've been in Japan, and the weather, in which I told him that back home it was minus 40 Celsius. He chuckled and showed me his goose-down vest under his chef's attire. He thought it was cold out and I was walking around in a long-sleeve shirt. We both had a good laugh. His food was delicious, his beer was cold. I will never forget this moment. Thank you, Onoya-san.
ドアが自動で閉まります。ベビーカーのご使用などで乗り降りに時間が必要なお客様はドアの開閉時間を調整いたしますのでお近くのインターホンでお知らせください。The Unicombe line is currently operating automatically. The doors will automatically close before departure. If you are using a baby carriage or require extra time to enter or exit the train, please notify us by the intercom. We will make an adjustment.
My last day in Japan, I stood on my balcony and cried my eyes out. I honestly can't wait to go back. Until next time, Japan.